I'm Sarah Richardson. This is Diane. And this is Diane's living and dining room. But this is what Diane's living and dining room look like now, thanks to some help from Design Inc. Diane and I are meeting at her home to take a look at her living and dining room. That is, if I can ever find the place. I hear it's been 15 years since it was last decorated. Time for an update. Hi.
Hi.
Oh.
Got him.
I'm Sarah.
Hi, Sarah. I'm Diane.
Nice to meet you. Who's this?
This is Pickles.
Hi, Pickles. Hi.
Emma, can you say how do you do, Emma?
While Diane wants to freshen up the space, it seems to suit Emma and Pickles just fine. Yeah. Diane, give me tell me a little bit about what do you want to do, and just tell me about sort of how you use the space. I think you've got a really quiet house. Nothing really ever goes on here, right? Just it's calm.
You can tell it's peaceful and calm.
Great.
We read here and watch television.
Okay.
And she jumps around. I know. I won that. I won it. And we had nowhere to put it.
They couldn't give you a smaller one? They could give you? Oh my gosh, it's huge.
It is enormous. Because I have a great love of down furniture.
Yeah.
To replace what we have
Yeah.
is atrociously expensive.
Well, it has great lines, so I think the best thing to do is to reupholster it. I mean, it's a really, really nice shape.
Yeah, thank you.
What about sort of color and style and feel? Like what would suit you best?
Warm, always warm.
I would sort of expect that a house of this age, with all the original woodwork, would have some more trim details.
Like crown molding. The fireplace, I loathe and detest.
Okay, so can you tell me a little bit about
So much for the living room. Now to the dining room. Not a long journey.
The table is an old family table. It's a great table for us because, as I said, we entertain a lot.
Yeah. How many chairs are there?
Well, there are 5 matching chairs.
Okay, and these are the chairs that go with the table,
These
right?
are the chairs that go with the table.
That's the whoopsie chair.
That can go outside. This I'm not too fond of.
Okay.
You know, Diane seems to have very specific tastes.
I sort of thought of the living room as being a pale yellow, this being like a deeper, very rich color, and that the slipcover material would pull out the red and have some of the yellow in it, so that it would all kind of flow in and out.
I wonder what Diane needs me for. She seems to have it all figured out.
Are we game to do a little bit of editing of certain
Everything.
things?
Take it all out and only put in what you feel would work.
We'll take a look at it and we'll come back to you with colors and fabrics and some ideas.
Excellent.
And then we'll figure out how to sort of move forward and make some changes.
Sounds like a plan.
Sound good? I like it.
I think it's going to be easy to give Diane's living dining room the Design Inc. touch.
But I think the bed's really
Natalie has already done some investigating of her own. Time for a brainstorming session.
I dropped by Diane's after you went to meet her
Yes.
and stole this from her 3rd floor.
Okay.
She likes the colors.
Okay.
She likes the pattern.
Right. So the real challenge is that, first of all, considering the way we saw Emma using it as the gymnasium and jumping from one piece to the other, I think it has to be something that's going to stand the test of time. I guess the first thing that really struck me was the television. And
Big.
it's really big.
It's really, really, really big.
What I desperately want to do is see if there is any way, we can beg, borrow, and steal to get a small wall mount television in there. Let's do trim, molding, and shelving solutions. We need a new light fixture.
And that's why I figured
As for paint,
red was more pinky, but she really likes that one.
Okay, and then
in the dining room, a dramatic, if pinky shade of red and warm yellow in the living room.
I think we go a lot lighter.
Love that.
I kind of
As for editing the space, it may take some muscle.
a little muscle, and I think we might need to go over there and help them out.
There's a lot to do and not enough money to do it with. there's never enough. We'll have to avoid expensive impulse buys as we start the project. Stick to the basics and save frills for later, which may be few and far between.
Great, thanks, bye. Okay, well that's not good. We just got the reupholstery quote for Diane's furniture, and it is $3,500, which is about 3/4 of the overall budget for the space. And it doesn't include fabric, that's not paint, that's no shelving, no trim, nothing.
And that's not good. We may have to slipcover the furniture rather than have it reupholstered. Fixing the dining chairs won't be any cheaper, so it's time to check out alternatives.
2, 3, 4. I need 8. They seem pretty nice.
Here's a score: 8 Queen Anne dining chairs for $950. New, they'd be $950 a piece. Now how about a dining room chandelier?
I think that works.
A steal at $95.
Is there any chance I can take one of those and have them back by the time you open tomorrow morning?
Yep, this cloud is getting a silver lining. Next stop, trim options for the walls and fireplace. For a small space, this is a lot of legwork.
So above the opening, you could do something like that, which is just doorstop, which is quite simple. Your window detail, if you just look to your right here, with a sill type application with a pediment built in or a one-piece pediment, you know, we have quite a few options there. We talked about a mantle too. There's some custom mantles.
And these are just made.
The one on the left is custom, so from nothing.
Yeah.
The one on the right is a kit.
Really? Wow.
How great is that?
I love a fireplace.
After some tinkering with the budget, Natalie's found a way to get the upholstered pieces recovered, so off they go.
Hey, Pickles, I took all your furniture away. It'll come back even prettier.
You know, except for Pickles, Diane's place has been all but deserted when we've stopped by. But according to Natalie, there's been lots of design advice from family and friends in the background. I hope Diane's strong-willed enough to stick with her plan.
Everyone has vested interest in having it a certain way. I think it may sound sort of stereotypical, but I do think a lot of the time it is the woman of the house that gets to make the final decisions. And I think at the end of the day, Diane will get everything her way, and I think that it will be her decisions. $60. Whoa! I had to stop talking to you guys. Someone filling gas. It's gonna be poor.
Let's hope Diane gets her way, otherwise I'm dealing with the wrong client.
That's lovely.
Diane's in charge.
It's a little,
Prissy?
yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Diane's got a tiny living space with some big problems.
I want it. And we had nowhere to
They
put
couldn't
it.
give you a smaller one they could give you?
But she definitely has a vision.
That the slipcover material would pull out the red and have some of the yellow in it, so that it would
That'd be
all
nice.
kind of
Right.
flow in and out.
Part of the scheme involves sifting through 30 years of clutter. The perfect job for Natalie, a born organizer.
For the kids at home, this is a record. Used to use this to listen to music.
It's going a lot better than I thought. Let's see if our luck holds.
Hello, Pickles. How are ya? How's it going,
neighbor?
Hi.
How are ya? I brought you a couple dining chairs to look at.
They are beautiful.
They're nice, huh? You should try them out. For Queen Anne, it actually has a pretty good rake to the back, so it doesn't feel like you're old.
Nice. This is more like a desk chair.
And what do Diane and husband Michael think of my other score?
You said you liked the idea of an iron light fixture,
Yes, I
right?
do.
Can you see that?
Was that black or gray?
It's kind of gray, but we could
Oh,
paint it a different color.
that's kind of funky.
It's $95.
Are you serious? Let me see it. That is great.
Now for trim.
So what we wanted to do was we wanted to play up the door headers. So first of all, they need some trim, and we thought this was quite a nice profile.
That's lovely.
We do a header across the top, so it'll have this beautiful kind of profile. And what it'll do is it'll really stand out against the red. For the plate rail, instead of doing a traditional plate rail,
Yeah.
we were thinking,
Yeah, that's nice.
hold on.
not that much difference. Seems like we got it all figured out.
What do you think about this one?
It's a little,
Prissy?
yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
How about this one?
That's small quantity.
That's okay. What about
It's orangey.
no?
No,
The texture of that?
I like the texture of that.
Yeah.
To actually
You're, and that's the fastest fabric thing we've ever gone through. There we go. You've eliminated most of the reds and pinks that exist, so we might need to find another color to make this work. At least Diane likes the sofa fabric, which allows us to get that in gear. But it doesn't take care of the mammoth television. It's pretty much like asking me to decorate the room around a coffin, and the only solution is to get rid of it, so at least I can like the way this room looks in the end. That's gonna take some work, but it looks like we've got some action on the trim installation.
The prefab fireplace isn't going to work.
It's not so fat.
Not so fat.
Wonderful.
I say let's brainstorm
Sure.
and do whatever.
Whatever we can come up with. As far as the fireplace, do you have any ideas of what we could do there?
I do for the mantle itself. I don't know if you want legs to it, like some kind of a vertical trim.
Or for
What you do
doors.
is put a backboard here
Right.
to mount the crown to,
Yes.
and then create a sill.
A nice deep mantle
Yeah,
just with crown.
Yeah.
And then I think for the shelves, we'll just bring the shelves in between the narrower section of the chimney breast. Okay, fireplace, check. Thanks. Now to revisit the fabric issue.
I have bought this trellis pattern for the ottoman. Good thing. It looks wonderful. I also went ahead and purchased the really nice yellowy chenille for the love seat in the armchair.
Are you
Looks
still with us?
perfect. I bought the lovely floral, which is a lovely floral, but not so
No, these
perfect
guys don't
here.
belong in the sandbox together.
So we are going to have to.
And what about
Find a
the stripe
replacement.
that Deanne wanted for the dining room chairs?
It was so horrible I shoved it in my purse never to be seen again. I can't even bring it out.
Now for paint samples. Our first choice is too brown. Our second choice is too pinky beige. And the one that Deanne likes is too bright orangey poppy. So as far as I'm concerned, none of them work. So not back to square one, but close. It's now been about 3 weeks since we started looking at fabrics and color schemes for Deanne. What's happened is we've ended up at a point where we have 3 different items: a rug, fabric for the living room, and fabric for the dining room chairs. And I've just realized that while each of these fabrics is nice on their own, the 3 of them don't go together, and this scheme, I'm afraid, is going to end up looking terrible when it's done. So I've got to get this back on track and come up with a better solution. That's in addition to finishing the fireplace and the trim. There's electrical, finalizing the fabric, and paint. Will Deanne's quick and easy job ever be done? Design Inc. is helping Deanne spiff up her living dining room. That's the whoopsie chair. Did someone say whoopsie?
The prefab fireplace isn't going to work.
You've eliminated most of the reds and pinks that exist, so we might need to find another color to make this work. Wonder if Pickles would have any better luck. Wayne and his crew have been working away at Deanne's. Time to check in. I want to see what you guys are doing. The new trim is making a huge difference. As for the fireplace refacing, it's still a bit of a challenge. What's the plan with the fireplace?
Well, this is something that we've got to discuss.
It's looking kind of huge in the
Yeah.
room, right? If this is the look that Deanne's happy with, we could do basically that.
But then I'm just the husband.
Hey, I'm just the designer. Michael relays the fireplace plan to Deanne, who's away on a business trip. Forget about the return.
What they did is they decided that the piece on the mantle that I saw when I first came down was too massive. I agree. I don't think you would have liked it.
I sure hope Deanne can visualize this.
So Sarah is having it not come around the corner, right? And then underneath the mantle, there's going to be the same molding. Yeah. Okay. Everybody wants you to be happy.
That's why I was trying not to do too much of the assembly of this, because I figured someone was going to want to alter this. But at the same time, I have to show you what I'm doing.
Now that Wayne's feeling empowered, we are going to mend this fabric situation once and for all. thought earlier that we'd shown Diane every fabric available in pinky reds, but turns out not to be the case. So I've selected my own scheme. If all goes according to plan, I might even like this room when it's done. Turns out the client wasn't a big fan of my cheap chandelier. Let's see if she likes it better black. And that massive TV, after lots of phone calls and arm twisting, is finally leaving the building.
We have a TV. Oh, great. Not quite free. We got a TV on a good deal. So we got a TV for Diane, so you can say goodbye. Shall I call Natalie and tell her? The coffin can be moved out of the room.
Too bad the paint job isn't going quite as well.
What's happening with the painters?
Well, what's happening with the painters is the trim took 2 extra days. And now, because the walls are so old and wonky, all of the plate rail is gapping about, not all of it, but some of it in spots is really gapping if you sort of stand there and look. So Tom has spent the morning sort of putting shims so that there's no separation. He told me he would be done Thursday, and I said we're closing the room on Thursday. And I think his heart leapt out of his chest a bit.
We're looking at finishing the whole project by Thursday, the end of Thursday.
Why doesn't anything run according to plan?
I have to do this on Thursday, and so if I have to go there at night and, you know, take part and start rolling those walls myself, I'm gonna have to do it.
Diane's little living dining room is big on logistics.
It's this big, it's this deep, and it's black, and it sits on a giant stand.
In addition to everything else, my big challenge has been replacing a huge TV won in a raffle. Now Natalie's got her hands full bringing fans to Diane's to help the paint dry.
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
And I'm spending what's left of the budget on accents and accessories. We're almost there.
Just have every color in the room. That's just what I need. It needs to be cozy but calm at the same time.
I agree.
Bar accessories, let's set the dining room table and let's make it look really like just wow.
Hi, Peter. Hi, Peter. How are you?
Hi, Peter. How are you doing?
We'll need the entire Design Inc. team to help Diane's living dining room cross the finish line.
Okay, let's make a plan for what we're gonna attack today.
Plan is, rooms are clear. Peter's installing draperies. We have TV that Sarah got.
We're gonna put it right here.
Yes, everything is finally coming together as it should.
TV here, components here.
Okay.
Can we do that?
One way or another. True or false?
Yes.
The television set that used to be inside your living room
Yes.
was way too big
What happened?
and way, way wrong for the room.
True.
Okay, come on.
What happened?
You answered correctly.
What happened to my TV?
You answered correctly.
Oh my gosh! Oh, you're kidding! Wow! What do you think? I've never seen something like that.
The entire room before was dwarfed by the monster television. And if there's one thing that I'm thrilled about with this final product is that the TV is gone.
Pillows to stuff. So,
Let's go.
let's
Stay
go.
out of the way of the man and the TV.
Yes. So we have to unload all of this.
What is this mantle? How good is that? The trim allowed us to create a magnificent mantelpiece, which is the first thing that you see when you come into the living room. And it was so easy. It was all done just with lumber.
It's been totally and completely transformed. It's as though, I mean, I really almost feel that I should put up like those museum little velvet ropes at the doorway.
It's a busy afternoon. Everyone pitches in, even the camera crew. So, who's shooting?
Don't be so sad.
Uh-oh. You know how I always say you need to check what's reflected in the mirror before you hang it? Seems like we see the mess in the kitchen. That's not a good reflection, and this isn't gonna work at all.
Yeah. Those I think I'd like to see a little bit lower then. And a little bit higher. And a little bit lower.
Okay, you're just playing with us now.
It's incredible incredible to see what you can achieve by using almost all of the same pieces. In the dining room, the only thing we brought in was a new chandelier and new chairs. In the living room, we used all of Diane's existing furniture. We brought in a lampshade or two and the television.
I am so blown away. It's extraordinary what you people have done. And I love every little corner.
Diane got her dream room after all. Emma's impressed, and even Pickles is tickled.